Hey guys, hope you enjoy my room tour. But before we get into that, I just want to let you know a couple things before watching it. One, I recorded this with my iPad. This was before I got my camera, so the video quality is going to be pretty garbage. And also, I didn't have everything on display that I have in my collection now when I recorded this, which doesn't really matter for you. You're not going to notice, but I notice because this room is a constantly growing monster, and it's always getting bigger and bigger and full of more garbage, so I'll notice it, but it's not important to the video. So, without any further ado, let's get into the room tour. Alright, in the Geek Cave. Here's my convention tabs. And here's a just classic Universal Monster poster. Got that at Monster Mania Con, actually, a year ago. And there it is. There's my VHS collection. Completely useless to most people, but hey, I still watch them from time to time. My Beat It jacket from the Michael Jackson music video. A little cheaper than the one he wore, but more or less the same thing. And up here we got some of the jumbo-sized Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures. These are for the movie ones, Raph and Leo. We got the box for classic rocker Leo up there. The box came damaged, so I had to take him out. And here's some of the NECA movie figures. These are just awesome. Like, look at these likenesses. They look exactly like them. So these were great. These were GameStop, and actually you can still find them. They're still everywhere. Actually, they're for NECA figures. Some of the easiest ones to find. And obviously we got my Atari 2600 collection back there. Not my biggest game collection, but I'm working on it. You know, it's actually I haven't gotten a game for it in a long time, but I mean, just look at how cool these figures are. That Shredder is just that Shredder is awesome. And I got the original Star Wars trilogy box set back there. The completely unaltered versions. And the Indiana Jones trilogy. The Star Wars one, I got that for $1. It was a great deal. And my Universal Monsters VHS ones with my Sven Gulli ones. Yeah, I have all like the box sets come first, and then I have the alphabetized ones. So the movies, I start off, with box sets, because those are a little weird to put in with the other movies sometimes. So I'll just put the box sets first to make it more accessible. But yeah, we got the Sven Gulli from MeTV. He's like the only guy left who really still does horror hosting for movies. He's great. He's awesome. If you can check him out, check him out. I mean, he's been doing it since decades now. I think he started in the 70s. His dad was the original Sven Gulli. He's technically son of Sven Gulli, but awesome figure. That's the one I wanted, honestly. Originally, they had other figures, but that is exactly the one I wanted. Like the studio set with the coffin and everything and the face paint. That's exactly the Sven Gulli toy I wanted. And I have my Universal Monsters here. Need to grow this because these are like my favorite movies. And, well, not my favorite movies, but they're some of my favorite. I consider my third favorite movie of all time to just be the Universal Monsters catalog. It's not one movie, but hey, that's some Alfred Hitchcock's ones. That's kind of a weird collection. It doesn't have any of the big ones on it. It's kind of like lesser known Hitchcock. We got some James Bond, the Godfather trilogy, and then we start with the alphabetized stuff. And so, if it's just like a 2-movie pack, I'll put the collections in with the others sometimes. Like you see Hellraiser here, that's 2 movies. But other ones are 2, but it's just one solid movie, like the Green Mile and stuff. So I just put those in. When it comes to like 3 or 4 movies, then I put them in the collection section. But whole bunch of movies. Tons of great ones here. Tons of classics. I love Dirty Dancing. All the classic Tom Hanks stuff from the 80s. Here's all the classic Disney white clamshell case ones. And I have another version of the Little Mermaid somewhere else. The famous one with the you-know-what on the cover. But I'm missing some. I'm missing Alice in Wonderland and a couple others. Some of them they didn't make. I like having the Masterpiece collection, one with the purple stripe, but they didn't make all of them for that. Some more movies. I hate that the Star Trek set doesn't match. That kind of drives me crazy. I actually do have Rocky 1, but I didn't have it when I recorded this video. Rocky 1 is my favorite movie of all time, so it was a sin that I didn't have it. Rocky Horror Picture Show, great stuff. Surf Ninjas, not great stuff. There's some bad stuff in here, but mostly good stuff. Mostly great movies. A lot of classics. Splash, it's a good time. Shawshank Redemption, Scarface. You know, mixed bag. You got something like Shawshank, one spot, and then Splash like a few movies later. So here's Betty Boop. I actually there was a store in the Woodbridge Mall called the Game Room Store in New Jersey a while ago, like years ago, and they always had these like big Betty Boop figures, like vintage Betty Boop figures. They were big. They were like 2 feet tall or 3 feet tall and stuff. And me and my friend would always go in that store, and I always wanted one. I love Betty Boop, and I settled for the smaller one. There was a bigger version of that statue, but the bigger one, the sculpt wasn't as good, so I got the little one. Save some space. More movies, Most Dangerous Game, some really classic stuff here. Odd Couple. My Blockbuster card, I found that in my wallet like a couple years ago. I didn't even know I still had it, but there's my Blockbuster card. I actually got that in 2006. I didn't have that as a kid. I went to Video Vault as a kid to rent videos, not Blockbuster. Sometimes Blockbuster, but usually I went to the Video Vault, or I'd go to the local library. Lost Boys, great movie. A lot of good stuff in here. Or a lot of stuff that isn't that great by most people's standards, probably. Grease, love me some Grease. Johnny Dangerously, funny stuff. Jurassic Park, great movie. Love Jurassic Park. And these are awesome. These were made by Super 7. They were doing the Filmation inspired He-Man figures, and so like the Hordax from the Filmation went up there. But they also released these. These were unreleased from the 80s. They look exactly the way they were supposed to. The series that was supposed to follow the original He-Man, where you find out about Hero. This is Hero and Eldor. And they released some of the figures for that line. They never released all of them. So they never released the two main guys. So it's good to get them. And more movies. Some of the Dollars movies I still need for a few dollars more. For the Man with No Name trilogy. Fisher King. Ghost. All the classics. And here's some vintage Motu stuff, Masters of the Universe, but also the new Hordak. We got his little biopic back there. Then I got this Robbie the Robot toy that I didn't even know existed. I was in Walmart back in like the winter, and I was there at like 2 a.m, and I happened to just find this on the shelf, and it was like $20. It was like $19.99. So I was like, that's awesome. I never expect to find like Forbidden Planet merch just sitting in a store. So I got that. I love that thing. That thing's so cool looking. It looks like just all the artwork on the box. I don't even take them out. It just looks great the way it is. But yeah, that's my little movie corner. It's actually bigger now. I have more stuff now, but I filmed this, as I said, a little while ago. So there I have my little entertainment setup. This is my retro entertainment setup. So I have my big, crazy 70-inch TV on the other side of the room. But here's this trusty old box I got for $1. Nice old CRTV. When you're going to play NES and Atari, like, you got to play it on here. It looks like garbage if you play it on the big TV. Got my VCR. I got that for $1, I think. Or that, like, the VCR was $5. I got the TV for just $1. Like, altogether, this whole setup was like $17. It's like ridiculous. It's a lot of fun. I like sitting down and playing this in the middle of the night sometimes in the glow of the TV, just like sitting there on a little beanbag chair and playing some NES or watching some VHS tapes. It's super nostalgic. Takes me back to just being a kid. And I love that stuff. And here we have the opposite wall. This is on the other side of what we were just looking at. Like right behind me here, we have the entertainment system. There's the old tube TV and my VHS collection. But what we're going to do is the lighting here is kind of crappy, so we're just going to take that lamp and move it out of here and fix the lighting a bit. And here we have my little coffee table area. Here's my book. I have the coffee table books under there. Here's Hammer Glamour, all the gorgeous and talented women who worked in the Hammer films in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Like, great horror stuff. Ingrid Pitt and all of them. Here's Pat Contry, one of my favorite YouTube channels, Pat the NES Punk. I got this at a convention. I bought it from him and met him and Ian Ferguson. And Ian Ferguson was an awesome dude. He was really cool. Honestly, of all the people I've met, like from the internet, he was one of the coolest ones. And this is a great book. Hyrule Historia. Every self-respecting Zelda fan needs this. I got this when it was new, and that one I actually bought the Art and Artifacts. I bought that in the New York Nintendo store years ago, and it's kind of a ripoff because it was like $50 for a bunch of pictures that are all over the internet. But this book is awesome. Ultimate Visual History. This was before Rise of the TMNT came out, so that's not in there, but it's just a really cool book. I mean, Turtles is like my life, so I needed this. When they make a giant book for Turtles, I gotta get it. So that is definitely a cool piece of Turtles merch. Then I got this at clearance one time for $10, and this is awesome because I love like the vintage Looney Tunes cartoons and everything. And this is a really cool book, honestly. Like it's got all this like extra little fun stuff in there, just like little folded up, little fun cards and stuff in there. It's just a really cool book. It's great for vintage cartoon fans. The Art of Wreck-It Ralph. I really liked Wreck-It Ralph when it was new. I got really into that for a bit. And then that's like a Where's Waldo with the dude. I always liked the Big Lebowski, and my sister actually got me this a few years ago. And it's like a Where's Waldo thing, but there's all kinds of movie references in there. It's pretty cool. You can follow like hidden movie stuff, but you're supposed to find the dude and a few other things in every scene. And if we go around to the side, you see my NES collection. Here's my my Turtles collector's case. This was the original design, I believe. They made another one later on, but I believe this was the original one. And it holds, I believe, like 12 figures and some accessories. And I've got like some of my doubles in there. You gotta love the errors though. Look, he's got the green bands on his arm instead of blue. And then Raph, like the belt, they colored yellow, and the bottom of the shell they made green. So it just looks, I don't know what's going on in there. Oh, we got a little bit of Ray Flay's gun falling out, but here we go. We got a lot of accessories falling out. Never mind. Let's move those. Here's my NES collection. I got about 200 NES games. Some of them I think one of them's out there. It's in the console right now, but I just love NES. My favorite console. I mean, just like right here, we got so many great games. Ninja Gaiden, one of the greatest games on the console. Star Tropics is cool. Goonies 2 is good. Little Mermaid's good. It's a little too easy. I'd like it to be a little longer, a little more difficult, but still a good game. But Ninja Gaiden's great. Then we got my Super Nintendo games. I don't have quite as many Super Nintendo games. I think I have about like 70, I think. But most of them are ones. Most of these are actually the ones that I got over the years. Like a good chunk of these are from my childhood. Like, it's my original copy of The Lost Vikings, which I love, and Donkey Kong Country and Mario World and all that. And N64. Yes, I do have Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut, and I actually got this for $15 back in 2006, if you believe me. No one cared about it back then, and I loved Clay Fighter 2 on Super Nintendo. Like, as a kid, I loved that game. I still do. So I got everything Clay Fighter, even though that game's actually not good. Like, Clay Fighter 2 is a great game, but that game's really not very good. But I had to own everything Clay Fighter, and as you'll see, I have Tournament Edition, I have Clay Fighter, I have Claymates, Clay Fighter 63 and a third, Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut. But Sculptor's Cut, yeah, it was $15 when I got it. I got Paneled Upon. This is my only surviving Super Famicom game. I used to have Rock Band and Fort, which is like Mega Man and Bass, which was going to be Mega Man 8 at first, but that got thrown out in a move once. And, so here we have some of my Funko Savage World, I believe it's called, and Primal Age figures. These are the slashers. These are my favorite ones out of the whole bunch, honestly. I actually, these are made very weak, these Funko figures, though, and a lot of them have broken. Like, a lot of them broke just coming out of the package, or if they fall on carpet, they break. And here's some of my older games. I have a couple Intellivision games there, and I don't even own an Intellivision, but here's the Thundercats. ones that they were doing for Funko. And these ones aren't really done in the barbarian look. They're actually much more spot on for the characters' designs. But I like that because we always wanted to mix them with He-Man and everything. So some of the Primal Age DC ones, which some of these designs are really cool. Like there's a Joker on what they call the Joker Beast, and just gotta love that smile. But these are really brittle. They just they break out of the package. Like you can see King Shark's shield is broken. He's like holding the broken knob of it. It's supposed to go on his wrist. He fell like once on carpet and it broke. Green Lantern coming out of the package, his axe broke or whatever that weapon is. Yeah, not the axe. He came with a spiked club and that broke coming out of the package. I had to re-buy Batman at some point because he fell and his sword broke, the hilt broke on it, and his shield broke, and it's just like everything he had broke. But here's my more modern Nintendo game collection from Wii U. I know Wii's not modern, but, newer ones. More modern than Atari and Intellivision. I got my Switch games, which I'm actually not super into most of those Switch games, but I just don't really have as much time to play games anymore. I've got these awesome Hot Wheels Universal Monsters packages. I actually had the Super Mario games ones, like Mario 1, 2, 3, World, Mario Kart, and Dr. Mario, but some of those got damaged, so I didn't display them. But, it's my little coffee table area. And it's a work in progress. I'm still putting stuff together. I actually have more stuff here now that's not shown here. I have another Beetlejuice figure up there that I don't have there. And I have some Super 7 reaction stuff up there now. But here's Earthworm Jim. This was an awesome toy line. Like a really good toy line. I'm still sad it got canceled as quickly as it did in the 90s. And Earthworm Jim was a great game in the 90s. I loved it. Got all of them here. I got every figure packaged. Peter Puppy, Princess What's Her Name. Then I got the Deep Sea Mission Gym. I got all the heroes on one, and then I got all the villains: Psychro, Henchrat, and Evil the Cat, and Bob and Number 4. And then I put a Battle Damaged Jim at the end of the villain one. This is the whole set of the figures. I think they made like a rocket that he could ride on, but I don't have that. But I have the mail-in figure where he's colored like Green Lantern for some reason also, but that's loose. That's somewhere else. We'll see that later. But that was an awesome toy line. I'll do a video about this at some point because this toy line was really cool. And then moving on to the Beetlejuice ones. I'd love to get this set actually. It's kind of boring because it's like they just made a bunch of different versions of Beetlejuice, and this was back when they never made female characters in action figure lines. So we never got like Lydia. We never got Gina Davis's character. It's just kind of a missed opportunity, but it's still cool. Then I have the original 1989 vintage Little Mermaid collectible figures. I love the Little Mermaid, as you'll find out. And just one of the most nostalgic movies for me. And these are just awesome because these these are from 1989. These look like when I was a little kid, this was the big thing. But one thing we have to say about the package artwork is look at Prince Eric and where Triton and Ursula are looking and how they're reacting to it. They're looking at his, he's showing something off and they're looking down and their reactions to it are just I know they're supposed to be looking at the figure, but come on, they're totally looking at his, that is not appropriate, guys. Someone really should have thought about that. I don't know. The covers of Little Mermaid merchandise were always doomed to just be dirty. And there it is, and I'm going to keep adding to it. As you can see, I plan to have it go all the way across. I really need to get more vintage TMNT in their packages because that's my jam. I'm not a huge in-box collector, though. I'm more of an open collector, but some figures just look really cool in the package. And if it's a figure I already own loose, then I don't mind owning it in the package. Or even if I owned it loose once before and I don't now, I'm usually fine. I just don't like not being able to know how the whole figure looks. I don't know. And here's my shelf of just random stuff. Now we're getting to the really busy areas. Let's get down here all the way to the bottom and get to my horror literature section. I love horror everything. So here we have Dracula. I hate how dark they wrote the Bram Stoker name on there. You can't even read it. It's black on black. But then we have everything by Poe. And then we have The Legend of Sleepy Hollow from Washington Irving. I got this at Washington Irving's house in Sleepy Hollow, New York. I love Sleepy Hollow. This is also the Blaze is an event they always do every year around Halloween in Sleepy Hollow where they just light thousands of jack-o'-lanterns and make all these crazy sculptures out of them. If you can ever go to Sleepy Hollow around Halloween, go there. I I love that town. That's like a Halloween tradition for me now. Every October I go to Sleepy Hollow. And actually there's also from the Blaze, that's the pumpkin syrup they make out of the Blaze pumpkins that aren't fake. 'Cause some of the pumpkins are fake. Most of them are. And I'm a huge Stephen King fan, especially like retro Stephen King, like 70s through the 80s. Like I love me some Stephen King. So here's my I'm also just kind of like a neat freak though, and I like it to look like uniform. So I liked that series they were making all those King books in. So I kind of stopped collecting when they discontinued that like series. And here's my Wolfman Bank. I love the Universal Monsters in case you haven't figured that one out yet. That thing's awesome. I actually got that at Jay and Silent Bob's store in Red Bank. I lived in Red Bank for a while. Here's just my general horror shelf. Got a Creature from the Black Lagoon Leo in a package. I actually got that at a convention for $20. Not that long ago, like a few years ago. Got all the Universal Monster First Wave Turtles. Frankenstein movie back there. Movie collection, but I don't really watch DVDs, really. I'm all digital now. Wolfman, little Funko figure. Got the Peter Venkman. He slimed me. You know, he got slimed. I hate that. He actually, I didn't notice, but he came damaged. You can see he's got paint missing from his shoulder, and you just see metal, because it's a metal die-cast figure, but I didn't see that until I bought it. Elvira, the Mistress of Dark herself, you know, you gotta have her. I love Elvira. The Addams Family, these were the early 90s figures that were for the cartoon. Damn, phone just keeps, or iPad, just keeps trying to focus. It's messing this up. Got the Little Me from Coraline. Coraline's an awesome movie. Not quite a horror movie. Not all this stuff here is horror, but it's like, you know, ghoulish themed. I always call that ghoulish. Oh, there goes Gomez. Well, here's Pumpkin Spice syrup, as I was talking about before from the Blaze. Let's get Gomez back up. And here we got the Mego figures. These are awesome. These are like remakes of like the same molds and everything from the old, I believe, 60s figures or 70s figures from Mego Toys. And we got the Bela Lugosi here. This Dracula. I don't think they got the actual rights from Universal, so they just write Lugosi Enterprises, and it doesn't actually mention Universal anywhere on it, but it's an awesome figure. And I like the way these look better in the package. These like cloth, more like doll-like figures. And we have Max Schreck as a Nosferatu, great classic. Then I got these NECA cartoon Pennywise figures. They got pretty damaged out of the packaging. You can see like the balloons. I had to like cut the wires because they were ripping apart because they made the holes they go in too tight, and then the balloons themselves fell off the strings, and the articulation's not too great. Those figures, they're pretty penny for what they are, and to be honest, they were pretty disappointing. Those ones. No disrespect to NECA, they make some cool stuff, but those were not their best products. And here we have my Little Mermaid shrine. It's grown quite a bit from then. You know, I have a Color Forms one, a few more figures, but this figure here was actually made by Sega. And I actually love it. It was only $20, and it's a really high quality figure. I really like it. There's the classic Tiger handheld. That's not as quality, but yeah, it is a great figure. I would definitely recommend getting that. They made it for like in the arcades, like in Japan, I believe Europe, Sega arcades. They had this as like a prize you could win, and it's really good. The sculpt is amazing, honestly, and like it feels nice, and the textures are well done. Like paint is flawless. Her face looks great. Like it's a really good figure for $20. That's like ridiculously good. And there's the classic movie cover there in the back. I like this. Well, yeah, that game is terrible. Like it's a Tiger handheld, goes without saying, but I love the way it looks. It's like very vintage looking. There's the classic Little Mermaid one, and it's kind of funny that they just took Triton from the front of the cover and flipped the picture around. They thought you wouldn't notice it's the same picture if they flipped it around. Here's a little Funko one. I love that sassy expression on her face, and I love her adorable little tiny hands. There's one of the 89 ones out of the package, the ones I have hanging up there. And I actually have, for the little Funko one there, I actually have her in the pink dress, and I have Ursula now also, but they're not in. I didn't have them when I made this video. And let's get this VHS tape out here and take a look at this. These Disney VHS tapes, the artwork was actually usually not that good when you really look at it. Like Triton's hand is just like floating like a Rayman hand, and Eric looks like John Travolta. Ariel looks like Pepper Ann, and like like they've shaded it nicely, but if you actually look at the artwork, it's nowhere near as good. Like no one's even looking at each other. Like it's just really awkward, but it's classic. I love it. My sister had a puzzle of that, a giant puzzle, and yes, it had the thing in it. There's a Weird Al. I'd like to get a photo myself. A friend got that for me, but here's the NECA Weird Al figure, and here's my cassette tape collection. I had to re-get those. As a kid, I had like all of them. I had Bad Hair Day and stuff. I don't have that anymore, but there's all like everything from his first self-titled album to Off the Deep End, which is like my favorite eras of Weird Al. I love all Weird Al, though. Weird Al is like the most inspirational guy to me. Like, I listen to his music and I just want to make stuff. I just want to draw and just make content and stuff. Like, it just inspires me. Like, he's so awesome. There we have Haunter from the Filmation Ghostbusters, hidden way back there. He's the only Filmation Ghostbusters figure we have. So I just have him back there. Or I have. I don't know why I'm calling myself multiple people right now. That's weird. But here's my vintage Thundercats line. Obviously, I don't have any of the figures I had as a kid. So it's like, these are like, I reacquire these later. So I don't have Lion-O and Panthro. I actually mostly have villains. I also found this Wily kit in a comic store, and that's why she's the only hero here. But it's really hard to find these guys with their pieces. Thundercats has become a really expensive line to collect for, honestly. It's weirdly expensive. And I have Vulture Man is the only one with all his pieces there. And there's Bucky O'Hare. I had some of these as a kid. There's a card back. That's a AFC Blinkies card back. But these were cool figures. They're weird figures, honestly. Like, their anatomy is strange, the articulation and stuff. But they were cool. They were very experimental, but they were really like cool, loose ideas for figures. And Bucky O'Hare is a cool series. It's not one of my favorites, but it's still cool. And here we have my video game shelf with the Hylian shield hovering over all of it. We have a Sonic, this vintage like Dr. Robotnik figure here. These like I guess they were Happy Meals from the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon. Here we got Sonic from there also. I actually have two of the Robotnik ones, and one's packed away. We got Ninja Gaiden, Tiger Electronic. Ninja Gaiden on NES is possibly my favorite game of all time. It's in the top 5. That was from Club Nintendo. That was my rewards when they shut down Club Nintendo. All my points were put towards the Majora's Mask puzzle. There's from I used to sell artwork at Apex, the tournament series, and there was a Sprite art booth, and they had the Morton. I bought them from them, and they liked my artwork. They bought some of that, and then eventually we did like an art trade kind of thing, and I had them make those Lost Vikings ones for me because I love the Lost Vikings. And I have this custom Ridley from Super Metroid statue. Yep, Lost Vikings. Olaf unfortunately falls over sometimes, but Eric, Balog, and Olaf, one of my favorite games of all time. So underrated. The Lost Vikings is so cool. These are perfect. These look just like how they look in the game. And then I have that Hyrule puzzle back there. But yeah, I always liked Ridley. He's one of my favorite Nintendo characters. Got that figure. And here's the mail-in figure I was talking about for Earthworm Jim. I don't really get it. It's like, it came with the Earthworm Jim VHS tapes, and he just looks like the Green Lantern. Like, it's really weird, but I have it. And I actually really like that Dr. Wily one. Like, that's probably my favorite Funko figure I have. It's very simple, but I love it. It looks just like him. It's like, that is the perfect Dr. Wily action figure. And it's so nice to see Mega Man merch that isn't just Mega Man, Roll, Proto Man. Usually it's just Mega Man and Roll. So, got the Kooplings here, some of my favorite characters ever. Got some Chrono Trigger, another Ridley. I love Ridley. He's awesome. I got some Crash Bandicoot. I like Crash Bandicoot quite a lot, but I don't like love Crash Bandicoot. So those are kind of on hold until I find figures I like more. Sorry guys. Sorry Crash, but I do like you. Your games are awesome, but you're not up there. Same with like Splatoon. I like Splatoon quite a lot, but that Inkling's probably going to go at some point because it's not just one of those series that I just really, really love. And I got these little, like, those are actually candy dispensers, the little Space Invaders, and I got a Pac-Man on the other side, but And then up here is Masters of the Universe. These are, I'm missing a lot of these, and a lot of them are in really bad shape, but these are awesome. I mean, I love Motu. This was like when I was really little, before I even got into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. My brother was already into Masters of the Universe and Thundercats, and so like these were the first action figures I ever played with in my life. Really, were like the Masters of the Universe stuff, and those boxes aren't vintage. Those are from the Filmation ones, and I actually have them. The only Masters of the Universe Classics figure I own is Plundor. Just you'd probably think it was a very random one if you even know who that is, and it was an inside joke with somebody. So there was a joke about Plundor, but I really liked the Classics line, but I never collected it because it was just so expensive, and I found out about it very late, and the products were just so scarce that I didn't have room for it too. There was down here my Mechanic. Or not my Mechanic. Who was it? One of my figures. They dropped their weapon and it ended up behind the shelf. I'll have to move it at some point, but yeah, there's the box. These are the figures that were in the box, the Filmation ones, and very similar to the originals. But then we have Transforming He-Man from the new set. That's awesome, from Super 7, and I have the original mini comics that came with them here. And I mean those Mets baseballs are been there. I've had those since I was a little kid. There's probably my favorite of the Filmation ones is Mermaid, because the original Mermaid, I don't know what they were thinking, but here is a official animation cell of Rocksteady from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I had to get at least one. I actually want quite a few. I want to like fill up that whole wall there with them. But here we have. I also got this at Monster Mania Con. This creature from the Black Lagoon, the beautiful Julie Adams. I got this from Bob Camp from Spumco. I met him at East Coast Comic Con. He was awesome. He was everything I hoped he'd be. Me and my friend got a lot of pictures with him. And here's my night table. I'm going to move this light because this situation stinks. And here is my Kotobukiya Starfire figure from Titans. And I'm probably breaking some YouTube guidelines just by showing this figure because it's very cheesecakey. And this is the crowning achievement. Well, here's the California Raisins first. I had these as a little kid. I loved those as a very little kid in the 80s. I had some of those toys. But here's my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collection, the vintage toy line. This is like my favorite collectibles that I own. And there was the 5th anniversary Golden Leo, the back metal. But I'll be doing videos on all these guys, so I'm not really going to talk about them right now. I'm just going to show off the collection right now, and then I'll go into full detail about every single figure in later videos, in my Turtle Talk videos. And the turtles here are actually all soft heads here. I have the hard heads. They're all packed away somewhere. And Bebop and Rocksteady are soft heads also. But I have the hard heads for all of them also. So I have them kind of separated by waves here. Like the different release waves they had. Like, year 1, year 2. This is year 3 down here. I'd like to get them all complete with all their pieces. Some of them are missing some. Got that giant mic for like $25 at a collectible sale they had in a mall near me about a year ago. Then we got the next shelf, which that's actually my original VHS tape from when I was a kid. The original FHE one. I got that one too. Those are both from when I was a little kid. That's from like 1990 or 1991 and 1992 or something, I think. 90 and 91. Then I got the Pizza Power game, the board game. I love how they mixed up Donatello and Michelangelo's skin colors on there. But still, it's really cool they did all original artwork for it. Then I got Scratch. Yes, I got Scratch. I'm pretty proud of that. Scratch, Hotspot, and Shogun Shote. I got the giant Bebop and Rocksteady. I just got a really good deal on those. I won it for an auction for I think like $110. I got both of them together, and then they happened to just pack in those two movie Leo and movie Raph, that giant ones that you saw before also. So I got like 4 giant figures for like $110. It was great. Got a classic Alf card pack there. I love me some Alf. Reminds me of being a really little kid and watching that with my family. And I have all the Turtles cartoon show VHS tapes back there. Then I have some more of my like TV show and cartoon and holiday special VHS tapes with some more Ninja Turtles, some of the vehicles and bigger characters and everything. And some Johnny Carson, some Earthworm Jim, some Beavis and Butthead. Disney sing-along, Street Sharks. I got a mixed bag back here. I got the Three Stooges. I got Bruce Lee. A whole lot of weird stuff. Then here is my Screech from Saved by the Bell shirt or whatever the hell this is. I just found it. It's just very retro looking. I love it. So I put it on my my computer chair. And here's my computer area. Here's I actually got this poster when I saw this movie. I never saw it as a kid, actually. I wasn't a huge Transformers kid when I was a kid. I wasn't super into robots, but I hate how they messed that up. Like, you had one job, guys. Come on. Like, they didn't make that straight. It's not like those 2 wings are not straight. But it's an awesome poster, though. Look at all the detail. But yeah, I got it when I saw it at Fathom Events. Hoverboard. Doesn't have the Mattel logo. It's the one thing I don't like. I wish it had the Mattel logo on it. But it doesn't. But still, it's totally cool. I've used it for cosplays before. Here I have some of the Cryptozoic DC Bombshells. These statues are just awesome. I love this style. It's like this very like classic 40s cartoon kind of art style with like sexy pinup girls. And there's my box for Shogun Showed. Yes, I did open him. I know that's going to drive some people crazy. I got him years ago, though. But here's Ludwig I got from a Nintendo store. My friend actually got me that when he was in Hong Kong back in like 2006. This what does it look like it says? I know it's bit charge, but like, come on. They could have done that better. Here's a little bit of a few Disney Infinity figures just because I like how they look and I like those characters. I always like Donald and I like Disgust. Back to the Future hat, Beetlejuice. I actually got that when I was cosplaying as Beetlejuice at a con once. Someone had custom coasters and they were like, come on, you got to get this. And I was like, you know what? I do. I need that. Some board games. Got the Disneyland one I actually found with Candyland. Because these aren't the ones I had as a kid. I got these back. And I found those right by the house where I lived as a kid. I was walking by there one day and a kid I used to know had just moved out, and all his stuff from his garage was like out on the front lawn to be thrown out, so on the curb. So I grabbed that. So it's pretty cool. Punch Out, mouse pad. Another one of the Cryptozoic Bombshells. There's a Poison Ivy looking smug. She looks like Betty Page there. And here's my big beast of a TV and my video game setup. Some of them are missing because my Switch is out in the living room right now, and some of them are over by my tube TV. Here's my Ninja Gaiden posters. Not only do I love Ninja Gaiden, but I always thought they had the coolest covers. Like, they had the coolest game covers ever. Those things are so just radical as hell. But we got the Atari 2600, got the paddle controllers and the regular controllers. Regular controllers aren't very good, but classic old box. I love the wood finish. NES would go here, but it's over by the tube TV. Right over there. And we still have the Zapper over here and a turbo controller. And then we have the Sega Genesis. And unfortunately, I actually don't have any official Genesis controllers. Everything I have is third party, and they don't work very well. It's where the Super Nintendo would go, but it's at the other TV. Here's my N64 with my classy taped together controller that broke over the years from a lot of Killer Instinct Gold I played back in 2006. And here's my Wii, a bunch of Wiimotes. I got the Wii Motion Plus that came with the Skyward Sword collection. The case doesn't really go in. Still love Skyward Sword. I think it's an underrated game. I got the Link GameCube controller. Got a lot of Zelda stuff for the Wii. I got the Wii U. Poor Wii U. It was a cool system, but didn't really get much of a life. And here we have the Xbox 360. I didn't play a ton of it, but that's why it's not hooked up. And this is where the Switch goes normally, but as you can see, we don't have it here right now. It's in the living room, so But actually, I had gray Joy-Cons. I wanted the colored ones, but then my boss at work wanted gray ones, and she had the colored ones, so we swapped. And here's my NES extras, the NES Advantage, and the Game Genies are back there and everything. And here's my manuals, got some NES manuals here. Hoops. Got pieces of that one. The Super Mario Brothers 3 manual, that's classic. There's the Link to the Past map. There's some Super Nintendo instructions manuals. The Castlevania 4 one, I actually got that the day I got my Super Nintendo. That's my original Castlevania 4 manual. Artwork on Lost Vikings 2 cover was terrible. They should have just let Samwise from Blizzard draw it. Like, the CG stuff looked so bad. Mega Man X. I used to have the Mega Man X one in color, but now I don't. Mario ones. We got Pac-Man on Atari. Got the NES Zapper manual. And we got these GameCube, Game Boy Advance books. It's the same book twice, but it's kind of cool. Like, see, like, what was new coming out when I was in high school, basically. Super Princess Peach. And that was probably like 2004, 2005. Probably about 2005. Then we got some PlayStation 1 stuff here. A lot of them are games I really didn't play that much, just ones people gave to me. But some of them are ones I liked, like X4 and stuff. And got my Nintendo Power collection. Most of it's actually from like the last couple years they were around. But I do have this classic one, Stun Race Effects. Played that a lot when I was a kid, actually. But I'd like to collect some of the older ones. So here's a poster that I think came with the last issue, and it shows every cover they ever had. Because I have the last issue of Nintendo Power in there. I have it the last full 2 years. And real quick, let's just look in my closet here. Again, this is filled a lot more now, but the closet in the room, I store a lot of the action figure boxes and duplicates of VHS tapes I have in there. And yeah, just kind of a mess. I got a lot of stuff in here. And this is only like part of my action figure storage. But here I have all the little actual like info cards, the portraits I have for my TMNT figures. But yeah. And there you have it. That's the geek room. I'm gonna talk about everything in here in full detail in videos later on. I know I kind of just breezed through here. Yes, I do sleep in my geek den. I like to be surrounded by my fandom. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you look forward to all my videos where I go into further detail about all this nerdy stuff. Do all the liking and subscribing and the sharing and the bell stuff.